Welcome back to I Am Astrology Readings. I'm your astrologer, Paul Heath, and today we're covering the Mars conjunct the South Node, which means it's in opposition to the North Node. Now, when trying to understand astrology, what you need to do is break it down into simple parts and then put it all together into a cake. Now, Mars, what is Mars energy? Mars energy is aggression, it's assertion, it's directness, it's the pioneering energy. And what's the South Node about? The South Node energy is about energy of decrease. Depending on the school of astrology you follow, it's the energy that your soul is trying to walk away from. But let's not forget, within the South Node energy lies gifts. So it's not like you totally want to walk away from this energy, right? Now, this transit is a test of release. Mars ignites the karmic South Node energy in Virgo at 19 degrees, demanding that we shed outdated methods of action born out of compulsion and chaos. This isn't a subtle transit. It's a crossroad where the fight has gone stale and perfectionist habits have turned hollow. You know, when you get to that place when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now, Mars conjunct the South Node calls for a conscious release of the perfectionist war, which includes self-criticism, obsessive routines. What are you getting out of that routine? And the compulsive fixing, always going around trying to fix things. But let's think about that thought. If you always going around looking for something to fix, that means your focus is on what is wrong. You walking around the world looking for what is wrong. What would happen if you would turn that around and walk around the world looking for what is right? This is also about our reactive patterns. Mars, action, reaction. Every action has a reaction. We have impulsive behaviors. Anger when reality doesn't match standard. Impulsive behaviors and anger when reality doesn't match what our standards, what we would like the standards to be. Mars, the planet of action. Virgo, the sign ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules the nervous system. And this is a releasing of burnout cycles, nervous exhaustion from trying to be too perfect, from trying to perfect the imperfectible. In Virgo, Mars becomes hyper efficient but anxious. The signal is clear. It's time to let go of the war of control. The South Node and the North Node are always opposite exact degree of each other. The opposition of the North Node, Mars being in the opposition to the North Node in the sign of Pisces, provides the antidote. Mars, South Node having a conjunction. The answer is look at the North Node for the antidote. Where Virgo clings to order, Pisces dissolves into trust. Do you trust that the universe has your back? Where Virgo sharpens edges, Pisces likes to soften with surrender. Mars wants to do, Pisces just wants to be. Can we just all get along? Can we all just be friends? Moving forward doesn't mean having the perfect plan all the time. It means being spiritually aligned enough to walk the uncertain path with grace. Now, I said this conjunction is happening at 19 degrees Virgo. I like to bring in the Saban symbols and incorporate the Saban symbols when it comes to this. The Saban symbol for the 19th degree of Virgo is points to a A caravan of cars headed to the West Coast. What does this mean? The collective, focus on that word collective, the collective journey over solo struggle. It's much easier with a team. Cooperative effort toward shared purpose. I'm headed in that direction. What? So am I. What? So am I. How about we travel together in that same direction, help each other out? You see what I'm saying? Leaving the past entirely behind for something greater. That reminds me of the biblical story of Sodom and Gomorrah. And Lot's wife was told, don't turn around and look back. She did, turned into the pillar of salt. Now, when it comes to this transit, you know what I'm saying? It's about release. Leaving the past entirely behind for something greater. And if you want that something greater, you better not look back or you're going to turn into a pillar of salt. Now, bringing in staying on the number 19 and numerology using the Kabbalah system, the number 19 points to foolishness, repeating the same mistakes, expecting different results. We know that saying, but we use it with a different name. Insane. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. Where the number 19 points to foolishness. And clinging too tightly to what no longer serves creates chaos. You think holding on to it is actually doing you some good. Well, in all actuality, that is creating chaos. Now, moving on. I told you before, each sign is 30 degrees. Within that 30 degrees, there are sections of 10, which is called the decans. 10, 10, 10. With inside of that 30 degrees also, the planets have different sections that they are responsible for, and it's called bounds. 19 degrees of Virgo falls in the bounds of Jupiter. What does that mean? When it comes to this Mars South Node conjunction, Jupiter has something to say about it. And where is Jupiter? Jupiter is over there in Cancer, exalted in Cancer currently. Now, Cancer is a water sign. Virgo is an earth sign, which means water and earth can work well together. Now, what is Jupiter bringing to this energy? Jupiter in Cancer is, Cancer by itself is more of a protective, nurturing energy. Think of the mother. Put Jupiter there. It's putting a nurturing backdrop to this release process, right? But it also is bringing Jupiter emotional wisdom being Jupiter, and compassionate courage, right? Inner knowing, back to Jupiter and wisdom. Inner knowing, you are safe to change the course. Are you married to that path? Or can you divorce that path and go another direction? Who says you have to stay on that path? What if that path is leading you to Oz? What are some of the things we could expect with this transit? Burnout, right? Mars is a hot planet. It's hot, fiery. So burnout as old patterns surface for release, South Node, letting go, right? Situations dissolving to free you from perfectionist patterns. What does that mean? Things may come up, and what comes up is to free you. Are you going to hold on tightly, or are you going to let it go? Because you don't realize you could be holding on to your prison. And this is time to recognize that the old fight is over. Aren't you tired of arguing about the same old thing? Maybe not. That's when free will and conscious decisions come into place. Now, conscious actions, like I just said, free will and conscious choice. Now, consciously, you could lean into the energy of releasing the stored up anger and clean up the past conflicts you've had. Collaborate instead of compete. Collaborate instead of compete. Can we all just share the stage? Trust intuitive guidance over pure logic. You remember the saving symbol? A caravan of cars headed to the West Coast? Well, a conscious choice you can make is join that caravan. Get in where you fit in. Things to try to avoid. Acting impulsively from old reactive patterns. Forcing outcomes through willpower alone. And isolating yourself in that perfectionist struggle. Now, to get further into the story, now let's make this a little personal. The rising signs. Now, for you to really get the more details, you got to realize that Mars rules 2 signs. What signs are that? Aries and Scorpio. Now, not only do you have to look at where Mars is in Virgo in that house in your chart, you also have to look at the 2 houses cusp where Mars rules to really figure out what is going on for you and what you need to release. Now, let's make this get a little personal, right? Pisces rising. Mars in the South Node or in your 7th house. Karmic relationships are burning off. Contracts and partners and perfections and projections. Mars rules your 2nd and your 9th house. This may tie into old stories of self-worth and rigid beliefs that shaped who you attracted. Let go of proving yourself through relationships. Reclaim your value without someone else validating it. Aquarius rising. Mars in the South Node and Virgo fall in your 8th house. Intimacy blocks, power struggles, and money entanglements are being purged. Mars rules your 3rd and your 10th. Your mind and your career are wired into this. Mental obsessions and control over the outcomes must go. Let go of the secret wars. Your power is in transparency and surrender, not control. Capricorn rising. Mars and the South Node fall in your 9th house. Letting go of needing all the answers. The mental map is outdated. Mars rules your 4th and your 11th. Your roots, 4th house, and your dreams for the future, 11th house, are shifting. You can't build new visions on old foundation. Let go of the teacher savior complex. Your next chapter comes through mystery, not mastery. Sagittarius rising. Mars in the South Node or in your 10th house, Virgo. Career, reputation, and leadership are in an energetic purge now. Mars rules your 5th and your 12th. Creative burnout and subconscious self-sabotage may be feeding into career pressure. Let go of being the boss of everything. Your public self is ready to soften and be redefined from the inside out. Scorpio rising. Mars in the South Node fall in your 11th house of group, karma, collective work, or old visions are fading. Mars rules your 1st house and your 6th. How you show up daily, 6th house, and assert yourself, 1st house, are key. You've outgrown a dream, a team, or a cause. Let go of being everyone's engine. Your body and purpose need new direction and better alignment. Libra rising. Mars in the South Node fall in your 12th house. You're releasing subconscious anger, karmic residue, or spiritual fatigue. Mars rules your 2nd and your 7th. This affects how you earn, trust, and relate. Your value isn't tied to sacrifice. Let go of being the silent supporter. Heal what's hidden. Rebuild your relationship from self-honor. Virgo rising. Mars in the South Node fall in your 1st house. Your identity, and body are in a karmic reset mode. You're done with the old version of you. Mars rules your 3rd and your 8th. This might come through unraveling toxic mental patterns. 3rd house, and shadow entanglements or debts. 8th house. Let go of the need to over-explain, overthink, or be in control of what you're owed. Burn the old mask. Leo rising, Mars in the South Node are in your 2nd house. You're detoxing attachment to money, security, and self-worth narratives. Mars rules your 4th and your 9th. This relates to ancestral survival stories, 4th house, and worldview blocks, 9th house, that no longer support your growth. Let go of scarcity thinking. Let your roots nourish your expansion, not limit it. Cancer rising, Mars in the South Node fall in your 3rd house. Mental habits, communication style, or sibling dynamics may be unraveling. Mars rules your 5th and your 8th. Your voice in the world, 10th house, and your creative fire, 5th house, are being restructured. Let go of talking your way into proving your power. Lead with heart, not hustle. Gemini rising, Mars in the South Node fall in your 4th house. You're being asked to let go of control around home, family, roots, and your emotional safety. Mars rules your 6th and your 11th. Your daily grind and your long-term vision are being tested. You may need to release toxic work habits, 6th house, and detach from group dynamics or social obligations that drain you, 11th house. Let go of fixing everyone at home. Realign your energy with people and causes that truly nourish your nervous system. Taurus rising, Mars in the South Node fall in your 5th house. Creative wounds, ego stories, and old romantic drama are clearing out. Mars rules your 7th and your 12th. This ties to karmic relationships, 7th house, and subconscious sabotage, 12th house. Let go of needing applause. Make art and love from wholeness, not lack. Aries rising, Mars in the South Node or in your 6th house. Burnout is the teacher. Old service roles, health obsession, or martyr patterns must be released. Mars rules your 1st and your 8th. This is deeply personal. You're shedding an identity built on over-efforting and unspoken trauma. Let go of being everyone's engine. Your body and purpose need new direction and better alignment. Just to reiterate some of this, the best way to deal with this energy is to lean into it, make conscious decisions from free will, and again, avoid old patterns of release. This time is about, it's a time of sacred exhaustion, burnout that signals not failure, but a portal. This apparent breakdown is the ego unraveling so the soul could breathe again. We're being called to leave the battlefield and join the pilgrimage, not alone, but in unity, not through control, but through purpose, not to fix the past, but to get answers to the future. The old fight is over. The new mission requires community, compassion, and faith. Let go of the war of perfection and join the caravan. And repeat after me. I let go of the war of perfection. I join the caravan. I trust the flow. I want to thank y'all for rocking with me. Make sure you come to the website, IamAstrologyReadings.com. Make sure you subscribe to get the blogs. Come if you want further information. Also, don't forget about 2:00 sessions on Fridays. I appreciate all the views, all the comments, all the likes. Till the next time. I end this. Know thyself, balance your energy.